I'm Dan from Architects, and this is Loud TV. No, I had this conversation with Lars from Metallica when we were in Madrid. I think their last album was their 12th, and we're releasing our 11th. And I was joking with him about how slow they've been to manage to get to 12 compared to us, but I also pointed out that our 5th album wasn't the Black Album, so they could afford to take their foot off the gas for a minute. But we've definitely had a unique journey, a unique path, one that I didn't think was possible, because when we started, you made it on your first few records or you didn't make it. You know what I mean? If you haven't cracked it by your 4th album, you throw in the towel. So it's been a story of perseverance for us. I didn't not enjoy those early years. We had years of very, very low-level success. The first 5 albums really didn't really take us very far, but it took us all around the world. So those experiences where we were really slogging it and sleeping on people's floors and everyone's sharing one hotel room, and it was hard sometimes, but driving ourselves all around, and we had some of the best times in those days, but we've managed to keep our heads above water, and it blows my mind that we are where we are today. And if you had told me 15 years ago that we'd be releasing our 11th album and we'd be playing arenas and that we'd be doing all this without my brother, that would have just blown my mind. It would have seemed impossible. But I'm grateful that the band has been able to persevere and keep succeeding, and now we just have this solid belief in what we can achieve. Jordan is a unique case because he could work for anyone, and he could work for in any genre, and most of those guys and girls that have that capability don't stick around in metal. They go and work for whoever the biggest pop artists are, because he could. And maybe he will, but as far as I'm concerned, or as far as I'm aware rather, he loves rock and metal music, and so I can't think of a guy, listen, I could be wrong, but I can't think of a guy with his talent that has been in metal music ever. I think he's a unique case, and everyone saw that sudden evolution of Bring Me the Horizon when he joined, and obviously not taking away anything from Ollie and his talents, but you saw Jordan's influence and how much it moved the needle for them, if you like. So we'd sort of had this lofty ambition to take the band to the next level, and I had this sort of feeling like I'm looking for there's another collaborator involved in this, I don't know who it is. And then, he parted ways with Bring Me the Horizon, and we spoke on the phone. He said, "Do you want to make an album?" I went, "There's the collaborator." Yeah, no brainer. So Jordan gets the band, he gets what we're trying to do, and we get on great on a personal level. So it's just a good thing. And I'm very, very fond of the man. Sometimes we would write songs from scratch with him, and sometimes we would have something fleshed out and we would build it into a finished song. So Jordan was very, very involved. I mean, we would write super fast with him as well. Sometimes we would just have the bones of a song. By the end of the day, we got something close to what you hear on the album. So it was awesome. We had a great, great time making the record. It was fun. It was a fun experience. Yeah. There's a lot there. There is a lot of work, and there's a lot of detail and a lot of thoughts have gone into it. And the greatest, one of the greatest things that Jordan brought to the record was that he saw more clearly than Samurai what it was about architects that makes architects resonate with people, and so he helped us lean into those qualities that perhaps we may not have had he not been involved, because some of those things, some of those qualities are more work for me as a drummer or for Sam as a vocalist, but he can see, because he's outside of the band, like what it is that people connect with in our music. So he helped us lean into those. Sometimes I feel like metal, or at least metalcore, if you like, it's becoming more and more like EDM music, like EDM, electronic dance music. It's like got to punch you in the face, you know. It's like everything has to be pushed to the extreme, and you know, if we're doing a heavy song, it's basically got to be completely absurd, and if we're doing a pop song, it's got to be a pop song. Like, don't hold back because you're scared of doing a pop song. If you're going to do a pop song, do the pop song. So yeah, we definitely lent into the extremes, and I think that we've just learned over the years that the more we allow ourselves to do that, the more people connect with the music. When you watch an action movie, it isn't 2 hours of car chases for the whole movie. Do you know what I mean? Like, sometimes you need to pause so you can go again, and you also don't want to start watching a movie and to figure out how it's going to end in the first 5 minutes. You want twists and you want turns, you want to be surprised, you want to be taken somewhere you weren't expecting, and making an album is like that. And so whether it's within a song or within the track listing, we wanted to take people in different directions very suddenly.
This is the point. A very good movie, you don't know where you go.
Yeah.
And this is the case with this album. In the songs, you know, it's always a surprise. You know,
Yeah.
We don't know where we go, but we like that.
And when you're surprised, you smile or you laugh, and that's what you want. Like that we felt like we really realised the power of that when we were making the record. And there was lots of moments when we were making the record when we laughed, because what we were making was ridiculous or stupid or outrageous, and we kept it. It's like, oh, we're all laughing in the room. It stays.
So you laughed a lot?
We laughed a lot making the album, yeah. Which is funny because it's very, you know, a lot of the lyrics are very sincere and vulnerable, and like there's real aggression in the song. Sam's vocal is so ferocious, but at the same time, like, we were laughing as well. So that's just what it is being a human being, isn't it? You know, we're not these one-dimensional creatures. We experience all sorts of different feelings, and we're complicated and contradictory, and that's what the songs are like. That's Jordan pushing me in that direction. Well, to a degree, you know, Blackhole, it's obviously very extreme. I suppose a lot of that's my responsibility. I've written that and not thought about my well-being. You know, I've written it without thinking too much about what I've got, what I'm biting off there. But again, like, when I'm writing Blackhole, like, I'm just like messing around, you know. I'm writing music that I think is ridiculous, and it works. You know, it just like, well, this is like, it's the ridiculousness of it is that's for some reason is powerful, you know, because it's like you sit up and pay attention when you hear it, you know. I think sometimes I tried to let go of that after we did Holy Hell, which he was like obviously still very he was very much at the forefront of my mind when we made that. But then when we did For Those Who Wish to Exist, I felt like I really needed to be just me as much as possible, and I really didn't want to become like a touring tribute act to my brother. I knew that wouldn't be what he would want, and it just, on an emotional level, it just felt like an unsustainable way to live, you know. It became like super tiring stepping into the live environment and feeling like we were always having to pay tribute to him, and I felt like this expectation from people to always be in a state of grief, like I couldn't enjoy myself. So over time that's become more diminished, but I do often wonder what he would think. I think Tom would be shocked that we're still going. Yeah, I think he would be shocked that we're still going. But I think he would enjoy this. He would enjoy this record for sure. Yeah, we're definitely leaning into emerging artists that we enjoyed. You know, like, to be honest, like, then they're not on our record so that we can try and make them a success, and they're not on our record so we can try and reach their audience. They're on our records because we felt, after listening to them, that they could offer those songs something that, you know, there was some quality they had that we felt would elevate the songs. So it was really simple as that. I wasn't familiar with Amira, but she was working with Zach, who makes the record, and I checked her out, and straight away I was like, oh, she's amazing. And I think both of those artists do have big futures if they continue on the path they're on. But yeah, it was super cool having them involved, and it was nice that they were keen to be a part of the project, you know. So yeah, and you know, with House of Protection, Steve is like someone that we've known for a long time, and so it was cool in that respect to collaborate with an old friend as well. It was really nice. Nothing environmental on this album. Our band has become like, it's funny, I've said this a few times while we've been promoting this album, like, there's been so many times now where, like, I'll see people talking about a song that I've written that's about my mental health, and they're like, this is a great song about climate change. I'm like, no, it's not. But I think just maybe I think it's probably the how do I say it, the metaphors that I'm using to describe what I'm going through can feel very apocalyptic, sound very apocalyptic, and so
like a storm. Maybe. Yeah,
like I'm dealing. That's how it feels to me in my inner world, and people think, well, he's talking about the world. I'm talking about my inner world. So I can see how that mistake is made, but over the last couple albums, they've generally become more personal and more about my own personal struggles. And obviously, I always factor Sam in, like, how it's gonna. Is it going to make sense to Sam? But usually, well, 99% of the time it resonates with Sam, so we have a pretty good understanding of each other at this point, so that's never usually an issue. But yeah, I've become more focused on my inner world and how I can take responsibility for who I am and how I can be a better person, and less. I think it's quite typical. You know, when you're in your 20s, you're full of righteousness and you want to fix the world, and obviously, like, it would be nice. But as you grow older and have a family, it's like your world becomes smaller again, and you're more like just focused on trying to do the best you can for them. And I found that's kind of taken me more inward. And so, but who knows? Maybe that righteousness will come back, but right now I'm just trying to be the best person I can be. when we were on the set shooting the video, and we were towards the end of the day, and Sam is rigged up on this crane with harnesses, and he's in the air, and the stunt coordinator is trying to train him how to do a backflip in the air on this harness, and he has to do it right after he's done this vocal. And there's wind machines, they got this huge wind machines, several of them, and and there's fake rain, and there's this huge film crew, and then they're like, roll playback, and it's the end of the song, and it's like and it's super heavy, like death metal style breakdown, and I was just laughing, like how have we got this video for this song? But the song is so ridiculous, it just suited Jensen down to the ground. Do you know what I mean? And he just delivered exactly what the song needed. It's completely nuts to me that our band could have a music video like that. Again, I think back to the early days of the band, and we're shooting videos for £500, and we have no ambitions to do anything like what we're doing now. It was never in our minds to take it to this place. So to end up in doing these types of things is it's so funny to me that we found ourselves in this position, because that video, it looks like the same quality as a Hollywood movie. There's no difference. There's no identifiable difference. It doesn't look cheap. They had to do it on a budget. It's what did they spend on this? $1 million? It was expensive, but it's incredible to me. Yeah, I mean, it's super cool. Again, this is just our plan from the start, just to try and push everything, the quality of everything, as high as we possibly can.